All right, what's going on, guys? So welcome back to the channel, and I'm not gonna lie, this list, whoever recommended me this, my guy, shout out to you. I'm not gonna lie, the list that you've been giving me so far, the first one was like what the hell, and the next two was just like good, and this one by far is one of the best you ever recommended. So the name of the show we're gonna actually talk about is Beat Blades Haruka. Now, for context, this is basically about some girl who has magical powers, and yes, I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. She gained powers by that guy named Takamaru. So as you guys can see in the beginning of the show, an explosion started going on, and there's like wreaking havoc by these unknown creatures that looks like ninjas for some reason. They were moving like one. There's people like screaming and shit, and they were like running for their lives and shit. And I was like, damn, talk about a good start. And there's these two enemies, but it looks like they're like, I wouldn't say bosses, they look like sub bosses. And there's like this little girl in danger, and one of the ninjas was about to kill this little girl. And I was like, yo, you can kill an adult, but you can't kill a child like that. And he was about to swing that hoe, and he ended up getting his weapon snatched away. And it looks like apparently they're the name of Noroi too. I believe that there's this ninja organization that been sent to wreak havoc. And then we get to meet our main protagonist, Haruka. Haruka is like this battle looking maid. Not gonna lie, the design for this is dope. Whoever made this, and shout out to MS Pictures, by the way. MS Pictures have always been making some good ass animation. And the fact that this is the same studio that made I can't remember the name of it, but I made the video about a few months ago, almost a year ago, I would say, in my earlier videos. So she was like talking and yapping and all that good shit, some Dragon Ball type shit before the actual scrapping started to happen. And she was going off. She was popping off on these ninjas. She was actually this was some good scrap. Homegirl was just clearing them solo. And afterwards, she gets to see like all of the ninjas are dead. She ended up taking them by herself, literally. And that was like crazy. And she realized that she's one of the most powerful ones in the group. And then she asked the little girl, hey, are you okay? And she was like very thankful, and she was taken away by her parents. And then she ended up getting a communication that, listen, we were able to find some enemies nearby. And then the citizens was like, oh yeah, who's this badass bitch right here? And she's like, well, my name is Haruka, and just get somewhere safe. So she ended up going off. And this is how we get to start the show named Beat Blades Haruka. And mind you, this show has 3 episodes. I am not going to lie, I was satisfied when I saw these episodes. And yeah, I was very satisfied. The good thing is that it is uncensored, by the way, because it's MS Pictures. They don't give a shit. I like that. I wish other animations or other animators would do something like this, just going all bold and raw. But anyways, in the beginning of episode 1, we see like this cursed looking temple or some JJK type shit. The name of the episode is Twin Dragon Wheels, and we get to see like this backstory where Haruka's best friend, it looks like they're friends, and we get to see Subaru here. Subaru is actually being wounded by this mysterious looking, nonchalant, narcissistic demon. And bro looks really cool and really cold. So this looks like Haruka looks like a couple years prior, and we get to see the backstory. I won't say a backstory, more like a dream, because this is literally Haruka's dream in the beginning of this very episode. And it looks like they were about to scrap, but she ended up leaving. Whatever, it looked like a burning temple, and she ended up waking up from the dream. And this is where she realized where she inherited the powers and how she went to go about it. Now we get to meet this guy by the name of Takamaru, and he ended up asking her if she was all right. So this is where we get to see our main casts here. We get to see Haruka, Takamaru, and then we got this girl. I'm not sure what her name is. So I'ma just call her fine shit, purple fine shit, because I'm not gonna lie, she's fine and she's tall too. So they were all like talking about what really transpired with Haruka's incident during that city chaos. And she's like, listen, she's one of the strongest, so we will need someone who can be able to nourish her powers, because she's gonna need it for this tough mission. And she tells Takamaru, listen, I need you to replenish her powers as soon as possible. So he was like taken aback by this because he was like, what do you mean by replenish her powers? And she knew exactly when she told him what he needs to do, he knew exactly what he needed to do. Now, I'm not sure what the other girl name is, and she's also gonna get drilled down, let's just say. But in this one, we're talking about Haruka here gaining her powers. She tells him, listen, I need you to do it. Do the deal with me. And he's like, really taken aback by this because he's like, look, are you sure you want me to do this? And she is like, yeah, I mean, I'm already risking my life to save the world from these ninjas. Might as well, I need enough like power to take down the rest of these ninjas and the Noroi warriors. So he still was like not convinced. He was very reluctant, at least at first. And then he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it just for the sake and the fact that, and she very much believes in this nigga. She's like, listen, I love you. You're the reason why you're the leader. And apparently he's like inherited some kind of bloodline where he is able to unlock these girls' potentials like to the max. I'm talking about some Super Saiyan shit. And she's literally begging this man to just touch her, to do whatever, do the most questionable things known to mankind. And he was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this shit and let's get this over with, because I know it's a tough mission you gotta go and you gotta face these two ninjas. Well, not really two, multiple ninjas. And yeah, let's get right down to business. So they ended up doing the deed, of course. They ended up doing it in a course of like 10 to 15 minutes. Because mind you, this episode in particular is almost 30 minutes long. 27 minutes and 58 seconds to be precise. So after doing so, she ended up transforming, as I'm going to show on the next scene. But before getting to the fight, let's meet our adversaries, our foes, enemies, however we want to call it. So we're back at this evil looking lair, and he's like, man, I can't. And this demon, this is like a psychopath, he's like, whoo, I can't wait to be released on these chains. And the nonchalant demon is like, Orochimaru, sit your hyper ass down. We're gonna get closer. We just need time. And this evil boss looking motherfucker looks like a dad of these two niggas. And he's like, listen, with time and patience, we're gonna get out very soon. And then we get to the scene where this is where the real scrapping, and I'm gonna lie, the scrapping was real good. This is where we get to see the two like sub-bosses in this fight as Haruka is going to fight these two guys. But before we get to the scene, before we get to the scrapping, look at this transformation. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of my favorite part of the show. The fact that we're getting to see some transformation, some scrapping, this is some Sailor Moon type shit. I'm not gonna lie, this was actually a clean ass transformation. So this is where we get down to business. She heads down to the city as she's witnessing pure chaos and havoc being wreaked across the city. We get to see this big buff ass looking Majin Buu samurai looking motherfucker, and he's like, bestow appropriate punishment to the sinners. It's all for our Nogoi, and please do come forward and share your evil deeds. And we get to hear the girl Haruka saying, okay, time to stop this shit. We're just not gonna even get to yapping anymore. We're about to scrap. And she's naming the blade of Suha Jogenshu. Haruka is here. My goodness, look about an introduction. And he's like, oh, so you're that Jogenshu looking bitch, huh? We're about to kill you, bitch. And she's like, well, we're about to destroy all of your sins. So you better get ready to get your ass beat and your pockets ran. So she was ready to throw hands. I was like, damn. Ah, my goodness, this was actually good. This scrap was hella saucy. Yes, literally. And he was like, you arrogant brat, you're gonna pay for this shit. So get ready for that fade. And she's like, oh, I'm never ducking her fades. And Narika, apparently her name is Narika. So Haruka was ready to throw hands on these boys, and Takamaru is like looking all worried and shit. So they send these ninjas on their way, and she was about to get ready to unleash divine judgment. This literally looks like divine judgment on Zamasu's ability. Look at this shit. This shit looks beautiful. My goodness. Even the samurai looking motherfucker was impressed, and he was like, he was about to make his move, and she was using the divine punishment, and he was literally slicing through all of these abilities, and look at this shit. look. Oh my goodness. But she was using that as a form of a distraction, and he was about to be sneaked. Actually, he was sneaked, but here's the thing. Her power response is decreased. His power response has decreased up to 40%. And at first, I was looking like, oh yeah, she looked like she about to do this shit. And she's like, well, listen, I'm not done yet. And he thought to himself, oh shit, she about to run my packets. And he was like, oh, but no worries, I got my backup plan. I got my trump card. So you get to see this Takimura's kindred spirit. It looks like, oh, it looks like he brought reinforcements. And he's like, she telling Haruka, listen, your body's becoming stressed and your power is decreasing. You need to get the hell out of there. And then when we see this pink hair fine shit over here, witnessing her friend getting her pockets ran by these two niggas, and they're jumping her. Literally, they're about to kidnap her. And he's like, well, look at this. And we thought she was about to run our pockets. It looks like it was the other way around. But she gave up and says, listen, I'll join you. So he uses his teleport skill to teleport him, his accomplice, and her outside of the range on which they were watching the fight. And Takamaru is like, we're worried, sick about her. And we got this fine shit over here telling him, listen, I need you to do me the same thing you did with Haruka. And he reluctantly agreed because he was like, okay, he don't want them to bear that burden or that responsibility that it is his fault. But he ended up agreeing to doing it anyway. And this is how Phoenix, and apparently this is her transformation. Her transformation is that of a phoenix. And I can't show that one. That one is a bit too... It looks like straight out of an RPG game type of character. And I enjoy this one. I'm not gonna lie. The first episode, yeah, this one definitely was one for the books. This one was actually great. Talk about a good start. And the only thing that threw me off is the fact that when I was checking the tags, it will have like HD, uncensored, whatever the case might be. I saw Futanari, and I was like, Futanari? Now, for those who don't know what Futanari is, or Futa for short, is no, it's not transgender, where a male will transition into a female. No, this is, I would say, is like the Japanese word of saying a hermaphrodite, a chick with a, with a D, with a sausage. Not like it was like, it's not like it was surgically attached. No, she was born with that shit. Imagine that you have an attachment. You have a whole muzzle brake. I gotta stop. Anyways, yeah, that's the only thing that threw me off. I didn't see nowhere near in this episode I saw any foot activities. I didn't see none of that. That was the surprising part. But we might probably see it in episodes 2 and 3. But who knows? We'll just, we'll see about that. But anyways, I digress. Let's just get into the last scene here. So in this last scene, oh my goodness, when I tell you it got worse from here, it literally got worse. So as you guys saw in the last scene, when the girl was kidnapped, she was literally, bro, the green guy, that one creeped me the fuck out. Bro extended his schmeat it looked like a whole third leg. It looks longer than my fucking leg, mind you. My whole leg and feet. It looks like a whole leg. Not gonna lie, that's crazy. And she was taking that shit. And it looks like some locals were possessed by these sinners, this ability to control their minds. And it turned into a whole freak off session. Yes, she was taking it all. Pause. And literally. But yeah, that was the end of the episode 1. And this is where Takamaru and the pink hair fine shit ended up doing the deed. She transforms into the phoenix, and the transformation also looked dope, but I couldn't show that one because But anyways, that is the end of the episode. It looks like that was the first episode, and I am not going to lie, this first episode was extremely amazing, and I'm not going to rate it yet because again, this is just episode 1. It could be better, it could be worse. Stay tuned. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I mean, what were your thoughts? What was your favorite scene? What was your least favorite? I mean, to be honest, Haruka's transformation is definitely one of my top favorite scenes. And the fact that she was crapping with this Majin Buu samurai looking motherfucker, I'm not gonna lie, the scrap looked really good. It was looking very nice, and the fact that she got her pockets ran by surprise, yeah, everything about it was just amazing. The plot, the build up, the character development, amazing overall. But anyways, if you guys wanna watch this, you can definitely, I would definitely and highly recommend it. And yeah, don't forget to hit that notification bell and look out for part 2. Until then, peace out.